second, really enjoy the backyard. The kids love playing back there and spend a lot of nights playing baseball in the backyard. So things came in great this spring. It's holding on right now, but starting to see some wear and tear. Just curious if you have any ideas for those high traffic areas where the kiddos love to play, things I can do to help keep the lawn nice and lush and thick through there and keep it surviving throughout the summer. Thanks. Bye.
Now, the second question that Scott had was about foot traffic on the lawn. So this time of year, your kids are home. What are they going to do? They're going outside to play all day. And that's what kids should be doing. Send them outside to play. It's summertime. Let them get out and enjoy playing outside. And so he's saying he's got his kids playing baseball in the backyard, and that is definitely starting to cause some areas, especially, obviously baseball is played in a certain realm. You're always running the bases, so I can see the base paths very quickly wearing out, things like that, wherever the pitcher's standing, whatever. So the first thing I would say is, Scott, is do you have a way to rotate your field? Can you move the field of play? I don't know how big your backyard is, but can you move the field of play to another area and teach the kids, hey, we got to let this area over here rest. By the way, I'm sure that this is how sports field managers in the professional industry work too. They got to have some time off. This is why they don't play home games every single day, right? They need to have some time to let the turf rest. So maybe you can talk to the kids, hey, see how it's getting a little bit worn out over here? We're going to move you to this edge of the backyard. We're going to change the base paths a little bit. The other thing you can do, and I know we would do this when we were kids, is no matter how old you get, it's always fun to play wiffle ball. The thing about wiffle ball is you can play that in a much more confined space. You can play that in a different part of the yard. Maybe send the kids to the side yard or the front yard where they can play wiffle ball. Wiffle ball is always fun. You don't have to worry about breaking windows with it. You can swing away. You can hit the ball as hard and far as you want. You can pitch as fast and hard as you want, and you're not going to hurt anything. So possibly maybe you're using the backyard for baseball because you got a hard ball back there. It's larger. You got area to fan out. You don't have to worry about breaking windows. So convince the kids, hey, you know what? Next week, wiffle ball all week. You're going to play that on the side yard. So that's another way to help the kids rotate, still keep playing baseball. And by the way, I think playing wiffle ball really helps your hand-eye coordination for sure, and it's always fun. The other thing you might want to do then is see if there's any friends that can have the baseball game at their house and tell them, look, we got to rotate the lawn here. We want your sports field, your playing field to stay nice, so we need to rotate. So you're going to have to go over to Johnny's house next week and give your lawn a week off. The idea would be to give that area a week on and a week off. I would really rather it get 2 weeks off, but give it a week on or a week off. Another way to give it some time off or to let the lawn rest a little bit is to convince the kids to play driveway sports. Why not go to basketball? Say, hey guys, you know what? Next week, we're going to let the lawn rest. You guys can play basketball out front all week, and we'll do this and this and that. The other thing I would tell you is play pickleball. I don't know if you guys have ever played pickleball. It's like tennis on the driveway. Pickleball is one of the funnest sports you will ever play in your life. It works well on a driveway. It works hand-eye coordination. It does a lot of things for you, but the most thing is it's fun. We played pickleball as kids. We didn't call it pickleball. We actually took beach tennis. There's a name for it, but it was these wooden paddles and this kind of semi-soft rubber ball that you could hit on the beach and hit back and forth on the beach. And we would take those and we would play those on the driveway. We'd set up a makeshift net and we would use those and we would play tennis over that way. But now they have official pickleball. The idea being here, Scott, is talk to the kids, let them know why their sports field is the way it is and why they need to rotate off of it, and convince them to try other things, do other things to let that lawn rest. Now, in the week that you do have the rest going on, here's what I'm going to recommend you do, is definitely get out and mow it every 2 days or every 3 days if you can. We want to focus the lawn to roots. So you want to cut it. Now, you don't want to cut it super tall either because that's just not conducive for sports play. So if it's Kentucky bluegrass, go ahead and take it down to 2 3/4 or 3 inches for sure and mow it as many days as you can during that time. The other thing you want to do is you want to encourage the compaction to come out of the lawn. Now, you can't go and rent an aerator and do that every single other week during the summer. And I'm not even convinced anymore that that's the best thing to do. And what I would say is get some of our Aerate product and hammer that in there. So what I would do is the very first day that they're not on it, I would hammer the Aerate down in there at a good solid 6 to 9 ounces per thousand and water it in deep, break some bonds, break up the compaction, and allow the roots to start growing deep. The other thing I would do is put down RGS at 3 ounces per thousand. That's going to give you the root growth stimulant that you want, as well as it's going to pack some humic acid down in there, which is going to reoxygenate the soil, get the microbes kicked back up again, and it's just all about the roots. Obviously, watering is important. You want to water deep and infrequent, and only water in the mornings when you can. And then finally, the other thing you're going to want to do is use high potassium fertilizers. Potassium is a great stress reliever. So that all summer long, whenever you're fertilizing, get something that's got some potash content to it. Carbon X does 4%, but there's others out there that I can't think of any off the top of my head that have some higher potassium content. But as you're fertilizing every 4 or 5 weeks or so, you definitely want to get that in there to help for some stress relief. So I think all of those strategies together can be important. And I think the biggest part of that is, Scott, is that's really going to help your kids. Get them involved too and let them understand how they can affect the playing surface. How that, hey, you guys are out here improving your game, you're having fun playing ball, but I also want you to understand that you can also have a better time if you will help me manage the playing surface. You will have a much better role if you help me with this. And let them get involved in the strategy and come up with ideas. Kids, by the way, that are playing on that field, if you have them to be cognizant of it, I bet you they'll come up with some good ideas too of how they can help improve the playing surface and maybe even take pride in the fact that they have the best backyard baseball field that is around anywhere. So with that, I think all of those things will be good, especially that Father's Day is coming up. That might make a really good strategy for you and your kids to work on together. And as always, my friend, let's hope for the best.